It's the best of Scottish. Donald and Douglas the Bachmann twins. How will these top-rated toy trains fare in this review, with tests on style, strength and sheer power? The last time I was this blown away by a model, I was reviewing Bachmann's model of Edward for the American market. Their Donald and Douglas models fill a gap in the market that people have been crying out for a long time. Under the hood, we find the two models have a very sturdy die-cast chassis, complete with the usual eye mechanism feature and surprisingly fine coupling rods and their equally fine wheel sets. The quality of the mechanism is something else, heavy and thus far reliably smooth when running. The moulded detail is crisply done. One surprise is that the dome and chimney are separately fitted items along with the whistle and safety valves. All are very nice mouldings which capture the TV series models very nicely. They are clearly based on the models as they were post-season 7 of Thomas & Friends, with the nameplates positioned in the centre of the boilers and the brake pipes on the opposite side of the buffer beam and facing upwards, not downwards. The cab is something of a disappointment. By introducing a splasher over the rear wheels, it could have been possible to allow space for a driver and fireman. However, given the similar design ethos with the other tender engines in the range, bar Spencer, this was not unexpected. The tender footplate does have some room for a crew, however, so all is not lost if you want to give your models a little more life. The tender frames are rather wonderfully moulded, although one mistake, though welcome, is that the brake shoes should only be on one side of the wheel sets and have been moulded on both. Despite this error, this level of detail for a simple children's toy is to be applauded. In a similar fashion, the leaf springs over the axle boxes, complete with rivet detail, and the rather convincing coal load are exemplary. The tender does not have a water filler cap. This is a mistake the original TV series models made, and has been carried over to the Bachmann models. This I welcome as it makes it more accurate and in keeping with the television series models. The faces are identical in their physical form, but are painted differently, the eyebrows revealing which is which of the twins. The nameplates are in the correct font and also in their correct form, including lowercase letters. The plain black livery is utterly sublime, and the lining out on tender and engine is without flaw. I have made a small modification to Douglas, the addition of the handrails at the rear of the cab, which add to the look greatly. Overall, the models are stunning. Fans have been waiting for models of Donald and Douglas for years, and this release by Bachmann has set yet another benchmark. In the haulage capacity test, each model has to pull a train of coaches, the standard coach being used for this test, the ubiquitous Hornby Mark I coach. The weight of one Hornby Mark I coach is 5 ounces, roughly 140 grams. The winner is the engine that pulls the heaviest load. The two models weigh 6.3 ounces, roughly 180 grams, and their tenders weigh 1.4 ounces, roughly 40 grams. The only thing stopping these models from pulling more coaches was space on the layout. A consistent speed was produced by both models on test, pulling 13 coaches apiece. I suspect with a longer track they could have pulled a lot more, the heavier die-cast chassis and wheel arrangement adding to their superior performance. The next test was the time trial. The time trial test consists of a race around the Copley Hill circuit, a generic train set oval. Each model will be timed speeding around the Copley Hill circuit, the winner putting in the fastest time. The two models were not particularly fast, and the current leaderboard is as follows. The two models are more heavy duty than many of the other lighter models in the Bachmann range, and as such was slower overall. We move on now to the recommended retail price of the two models for 2011. The two models retail at $77 each, which is £49.30 sterling at the time of writing. There's no doubt in my mind that Bachmann are onto another winner with these models. They look like their characters almost perfectly, and whatever flaws there are not enough to deviate from the sheer quality of the mechanism and aesthetics. They are another contender for being the best models in the two competing ranges in HO and OO. Hornby have missed a trick by not producing Donald and Douglas, and I have a feeling that these models are ones which will sell out very quickly. In the last team tug of war, Team Thomas won after the quadruplets were disqualified. Can Team Thomas win against the twins? It's Team Thomas versus Team Scotland. But what's this? It's unbelievable! Team Scotland have backed into a signal box, and Donald has damaged his tender, meaning he can't compete. Team Thomas win by default! So on that bombshell, it's time to end. Until next time, thank you very much for watching.